You mentioned in the previous reading that you did on Maria that she punishes herself. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. For what she's done to Alison. So some kind of remorse. Okay, and that she does things that are not good for her mental health. Why does she feel the need to punish herself? What sort of things does she do to punish herself that are not good to her for her mental health? Drinking, but not drinking like alcoholic drinks. Yes, those, but the alcoholic drinks is not enough to like damage her liver because she needs her voice. But she drinks concoctions, like maybe a person's blood here and there. Even like Alison's blood. What I'm saying might seem strange, but I guess that's the way of witchcraft. Alison's blood, like they don't have to take her blood every day from her, directly from her. They could have, like, let's say like someone takes, let's say five vials of blood can actually last for 5 years. Like if frozen and you put a drop, like a syringe, let's say you just put a drop of, you freeze them, but like you put a drop of blood into like, I don't know, a container, a vial, right? Of let's say drinks or energy drinks, something like that. And you sort of put that there, each container, and you freeze it. You freeze it for a good number of years. It can last for a long time. And obviously, it's not just like done with a few, sacrifices, maybe like of killing rabbits here and there, um, even like sacrificing one or two fans and things like those. And it'll do the trick. It'll do the trick. So, but to answer your question, definitely it does. It is to punish herself as well because drinking the blood of Alison at this point of her career would be self-damaging because, like, what does she need? Everything's already established, and the rules of that spiritual does not say she has to continue with the blood. So it's in a way, it's like to disgust herself to herself. She drinks the blood. Yeah, it's a bit of a creepy thing, but um. Okay, next question. Let me see. Okay, does Maria have strong alcohol and pill addictions like she has been rumored to have? Does she have any other addictions? Addiction to Alison's blood. Yeah, that's what keeps coming up. Addiction to Alison's blood. As for pills and all of that, again, it keeps coming back. Addiction to Alison's blood. It's like no matter what you see, this circle of pills and alcohol, this is the bull's eye, Alison's blood. The bull's eye, Alison's blood. It comes back to that, Alison's blood. Again, like matching, like similar theme. A circle-ish, right? There's Alison in the middle. So whatever the circle would include alcohol, drugs, any type of drink. Alison's blood has to be in it. Alison's blood has to be in it, otherwise it would not make sense for her, Maria, to take it. So it's an addiction to punishing herself that she's still reliant, or she still wants to make herself reliant on Alison's blood, because she's the type of person who would not like to remain reliant on anybody or anything. It makes her feel like she is in a cage, again like with Tommy, but she chooses to be in that cage. So it's like punishing herself, like whipping herself. Next question. Maria got a new career manager around 2015 named Stella. Um, what caused Maria to allow someone like Stella into her life? Or was Stella forced upon Maria? She was forced. She was forced by Maria. Maria finds her, or found her attractive. So she was like, I'll pay you this amount if you stay by my side. Yeah. But I mean, why am I saying Maria forced? Because Maria's not the type to rely on other people. She really hates that. She really does. So it's like against her will, her own will. She insists. And when she's the type of person who, I mean, really, this is like a butterfly. She's like the type of person who, if she relies on someone, it's as if one side of her wings, like a butterfly, one side of her wings is broken and plucked off. So she hates it. But at the same time, she's the type of person who, in order to indulge in that side of her that relies on others, she has to do it forcefully, in a forceful manner. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense and she would actually back down. Yeah. So it's like, to avoid backing down, she has to give 100% her all into it. Like, and her all is synonymous to aggressiveness. Yeah. The same for Nick Cannon as well. Like, I'm seeing her proposing to him, almost insisting, I have to have you now. I want to have you. Yeah. And then afterwards, like, whatever plays out, plays out. So next question. Maria ended up firing Stella in 2017. Yes, she grew bored of her. She grew bored of her. But Stella is still close to her, to Maria. It seems like Maria's relationships prosper and flourish only after they're done, or after she is done. Okay, next question. After Maria fired Stella, there were nasty lawsuits between Maria, Stella, and some of Stella's employees who had worked with Maria too. So what I'm seeing is it's all a game. It's like sexual tension playing out. Yeah, that's honestly what I'm seeing. Sexual tension playing out. Like back and forth, in order to remain in each other's lives. I mean, Maria is rich enough to pay them off, but she wouldn't want to because she likes the game. It's like keeping in contact with an old friend, or like with an ex who has refused to talk to you, but because you keep refusing to sign the divorce papers, they have to keep coming back to you. And when they come to you, you tease them about it. You tease them about the fact that, like, you can't do without me, right? You keep coming back to me, forgetting the fact that they're only there because you refuse to sign the papers, not for you, but because you refuse to sign the papers that they want. Yeah. So she plays a lot. She works a lot on their minds, Maria. So having said that, she hasn't given up. She's never given up on trying to use the mind to get through to get to people and deconstruct them. Okay. So next question. Okay, there were reportedly threats and blackmail from Stella and Stella's employees towards Maria. What kind of information were they threatening to reveal about her, about Maria? Just normal information that the public wouldn't see. For example, Maria being a lesbian, although she's not, she's like bisexual or trisexual, whatever. But just information like that. That because she has this angelic face image, people would see her as different as, let me say, Christina Aguilera, right? But they know that in the music industry, if people look different, even slightly different from the image they've cultivated for themselves for years, then it could lead to a decline in sales and therefore a decline in image, and all of that, and therefore money. So she would leak money. But it didn't work out that way because they soon found out that she didn't care. She even laughed in their faces, like, what do you think I care? Tell them that I'm a lesbian. Tell them that I'm a bisexual. I don't care. In fact, I'm going to kiss someone. I'm going to kiss a woman in full view of the paparazzi. So do your best or do your worst. Take your worst shot. I'm still going to be here. And yeah, she's not lying because her source of strength is Allison. It's not what these people see, which is the public or public image. Like, no, that's just the fruit of Allison's work. Next question. Did Maria end up settling financially with Stella and Stella's employees? Yes. Okay, if so, what were the terms of the settlement? Yeah, I mean, funny enough, you asked that question because from what I'm seeing, I'm picking up, the terms of the settlement essentially put them in even more bondage than the money was worth. So it's as if she could call upon them anytime or even in the future, and they would come back to her, working for her for peanuts. As if she kept them on some kind of contract and she said, okay, I'm only paying you this even though your contract says 30 years with me or 10 years with me, but I'm only paying you this so that you're going to come back in a few years time and work for me again, and I'm going to pay you peanuts this time. Next question. Was Maria able to repair and regain um the business partner relationships and personal friendships that she lost while Stella was her manager? Yeah, she never lost them. She never lost them. Maria likes to flip things around and play games. So it may seem like she did, but that's only because she tried to go away It's not them going away from her, it's her getting away from them. But she'll use it as the opposite, them getting away from her. Was Maria's relationship and engagement to Australian billionaire James Parker from 2015 to 2016 a fake publicity stunt? Definitely it was. It was. It was. He didn't even like her. Not from what I'm seeing. And certainly not compared to Nick Cannon. Now, I don't know why that's coming up, but certainly because she's tried to spread that image that he loved her more than Nick, but he didn't. He didn't. He doesn't even like her. Not even till date. Next question is, it was rumored that Maria would not sleep with James because she told him that she wanted to wait until marriage. Is that true? I have to say, the cards are like, Maria is such a liar. I mean, it's just blank. Like, sometimes I feel they need to turn the card, right? Or like upside down, whatever, because I just like feel led by the spirit. So the fact that I turn these cards before reading your question, it's like, like when someone gives you a dead face, like a dead ass face, like come on now, like come on, like no expression. Yeah, she's 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 the joker. She's such a manipulator, Maria. Like she writes blank checks. She writes blank checks and just allows everyone to fill in the blanks on her behalf. So she's a liar. She's a liar. Um, okay, so next question. Why was Maria even romantically involved with him? For attention? Yeah, for attention. For the flashlight, for the spotlight to be on her, on them. On them, him being a billionaire, right? Billionaire couple, all of that. She wanted to weave a narrative tying her to money, and not just any kind of money, white money. White money. She has a race complex with herself. Well, no, not with herself, but with her children. As if, like, she has done well for herself, but her children, her kids, with Nick Cannon, because Nick Cannon being black, she wants them to also have that brush of billionaire status on them before they grow up. Like your mother was once a billionaire or tied to a billionaire, and that is enough for you to have some kind of a say in society, in high white driven society. But that's just how she thinks. It's not necessarily the truth, but I guess that's her arming herself, or rather, arming her children. Yeah. Because of her parents, of course, like she feels like that never went away, that spirit of manipulating people's races to make them feel below themselves. Yeah. Okay, your other question is, did she want or need his money? I guess it's both, but not directly need his money. She's had enough. She's got enough of that. She's had enough, but he would even give her gifts without asking. But it's more like what I just explained. Yes, need his money, but more as a status symbol for her own children. Okay, next question. Did she do it as a way to prove a point to her ex-husband, Nick Cannon? Definitely. That I can give my children, when she's angry with him, which is all the time, pretty much, she sees them as her children, not his. So I can give my children what you couldn't, which is a billionaire status. Like, it's actually, she's not actually mocking his money. She loves his money, Nick Cannon, and she dearly loves the way he's so dedicated to just being there, being out there, like, and creating a circus, creating attention for himself. But she hates the fact that he wouldn't take her fears as seriously, yeah, as let's say James Parker would. So in saying that, James would even have adopted her children just to give them that status, but then it fell apart because she grew bored. Yeah. And she felt as though the deed was done, like what she wanted to achieve was achieved in terms of status. So yeah, James Parker, he would have adopted her children, like, have them take on his name, just because she explained to him what the issue was, and he said yes. Let me continue. Okay, next question. Apparently, during one of Maria and Nick's disagreements, Maria had told Nick that she didn't have to settle for Nick because she could have easily gotten a billionaire. Yeah, that's true. Definitely. She did. Yeah, she did. Okay, next question. I mean, she says that a lot. She doesn't hide it. Like, Maria is not. The only thing she will hide is her talent, ironically. Or like where her talent comes from, which is her sister Alison. Otherwise, she doesn't hide anything else. Like, she'll tell you straight, like, just straight up. Okay, next question. What was the reason for the end of the engagement between Maria and James? So I think I've explained it. Boredom. Maria's boredom. Next question. It was reported that Maria sued James for $50 million. Again, for attention. He gave it to her and more. He gave it to her and more. Like 100 million he gave to her. Yeah. So, yeah, he gave it to her. Okay, next question. Maria has supposedly been dating one of her backup dancers, Brian Tanaka, since 2017. What is the true? I'm seeing them as breaking up. But again, like I said, she keeps her friends, whether it's lovers, enemies, close to her. So even Nicki Minaj is coming up here. It's like they've had a threesome. Nicki Minaj, her, and Brian, even though they're enemies. I wouldn't say supposed enemies. I mean enemies. Like Maria doesn't get along with with most people, but she keeps them close enough. Like that's really a talent. I mean an art because I don't know how to explain that. Having a threesome with someone that you maybe even like detest. I don't know how she does that, but she does. I guess she dissociates herself from sexual attraction. Yeah. It's like a thing of duty. Okay, so you asked what is the true nature of the relationship? So I think I've answered that. Um in love, in love with being each other's friend. And she's the type who would help as well. So though he's a dancer, a backup dancer, she would make him front and center of her, like let's say some kind of a music deal that she has somewhere, let's say in the Bahamas. Like she would send him as her representative and have him pocket the money, like 100% of the money, or at least like 99% of it. Like, yeah. Okay. So I think I've answered. Are they actually in love? They are in love. They are. But then she's in love with most of her exes. She chooses to remain in love with them. Okay, so your next question. If not, why is Maria involved with him? For attention, for attention. Yeah. I was trying to look and ask the cards, is it for love and attention? But no, it's like attention, attention, attention. Okay, next question. What are the reasons why Maria's relationships with her mother, Patricia, older brother Morgan, and older sister Alison have been so strained for many years and even up until the present day? Because of what they've done, like the parents have done to their children. Yeah. In favor of Maria. Next question. Maria's brother and sister have come out publicly before and said that Maria refuses to help Alison financially with her medical health care needs. Is that true? If so, why has Maria refused to help? I mean, she's refused to help for the same reason that she refused to help Alison to get out of her parents' grip because she didn't want to. She doesn't want to. Yeah. Okay, next question. Is it true that Maria's mother, Patricia, who is a trained opera singer, has always been very jealous of Maria's? No, 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 categorically not. I mean, she put that fame, I guess, in her, in Maria. Yeah, yeah. So the question is whether, sorry, her mother has always been very jealous of Maria. No, 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 no. Not when it comes to music, not when it comes to fame, talent, wealth, not at all. Not a drop, not a drop, not a drop. She's the architect. She's the architect of Maria's fire, like turning Maria into a butterfly of some sort. So no, she's not at all. Next question. Will there ever be any reconciliation? Um, Will there ever be any reconciliation between Maria and her mother, brother and sister? Maria presently calls her sister and brother her ex-sister and ex-brother. Yeah. Will there ever be? They will, but not like they think. Like she's just gonna use them for more drama. So for more light on her life, for more drama to make her life more colorful. But this is how it's actually gonna be. So kind of like this, they're gonna feel claustrophobic, right? It'll feel like the train of reconciliation is coming because she will lay down the tracks, but it's not a train. It's a big, like, almost like a cage, but it's a transparent cage. In other words, they won't see the shady things that she does because it will seem like she's transparent about her actions, but she's merely bringing fire, not to destroy, not the fire that destroys, but the fire that brings attention, that draws attention. So this kind of fire. Yeah. Okay, so next question. Maria has said that her and her father were able to reconcile before his death in 2003 from cancer. What happened to make them reunite and reconcile? There wasn't a reconciliation. I mean, if anything, he didn't want to see her. And I really have no choice but to see what I'm seeing in the cards. Like, he didn't want to see her, but he did. He didn't want to, but he did. And I'm not saying like his him being dead. I don't see him dead. I don't see him dead. Now I don't know if they've got him like not locked up, right? But like not locked up out of his own volition. But I guess some people can fake their deaths. Maybe if the like the IRS or whatever is after them, right, for evasion or maybe just to like stay and do underground work, like rituals and stuff in the basement, or whatever. Dedicate their lives, right? Something like that. Because that's what I'm seeing. Like I'm not seeing him 6 feet under. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Next question. Maria speaks about and sings about her Christian faith often. Is her Christian faith genuine? It's as genuine as the Pope. And the Pope is aware of the spiritual stuff and the rituals that go on in his institution, right? So it's as genuine as that. That they really believe it. But what people think they believe is not what they actually be like. People assume they know what Maria believes in a Christian faith, and like the Pope, for example. But like, you would have to be careful. What do you think they believe in? Because yeah, they have the Christian faith, they actually believe. But then how do you define Christian faith? Like, how do you define it? Then when you ask, you see that it's radically different. It's not even the same. But they believe in what they believe. Yeah. Like that's their Christian faith. So yeah. Um, Next question. Is Maria really worth the 500 million net worth that she's reported to have? She has more. She has more. She has more. It's hidden. It's all hidden. It's all hidden. It's hidden. Yeah. Okay, next question. Does Maria really write and produce all of her songs like she claims to? Yeah, she does. She does. She does. Like, yeah, the penmanship flows out of her hands, her fingers. Uh, or does she have ghost songwriters and producers? No, no, she doesn't. She doesn't. Maybe for some, when she's feeling ill, when she's ill and her voice is not up to par, because she's very much the type of person who she finds it very difficult, if impossible, to write, to songwrite when her voice is not correct. Yeah, because it's like she hears herself sing and she writes down the words, right? So when her voice is not up to par, she doesn't like, it's as if the words are blocked, or she doesn't like to make the words come forth. She likes to hear it in her own music, her own voice, first of all. So yeah, when her voice is not up to par, she's got a cold or a cough, a sore throat, she cannot write. So in come songwriters. But yeah, she writes her own music, definitely. Next question is, what is the real story behind why Mariah and her ex music producing partner Walter, Walter, do not get along? They do. They do. I mean, Maria might have said they don't, but they do. Or whatever might have transpired in the papers, but they do. Any schisms, like, it's not really a schism. It's more like this octopus, right? It's just Maria growing bored and then teasing him and then having him retaliate, and then it's all over, like, it's news or whatever. But like, he never leaves the head. So he is like one of the tentacles attached to Maria. He never leaves. So he's never left. He's never left. Yeah. So they do get along, except when Maria wants to like poke the bear. Next question. What kind of mother is Maria? How do her children and daughter, how do her children feel about her as a mother? Like, she puts them in a cage. Yeah. They just want to be set free. They just want to be set free from this cage that she's put them in. Like, she gives them just enough fire to keep them creative, but not more creative than her. Yeah. Which is a shame. They have a lot of talent, and she could even be become the producer, but I don't know what she's doing. I guess she's trying to stick to what she knows best, which is herself, her own fire, like traditional, very traditional. But it'll soon backfire, and she'll have no choice but to take it on board, like take their wishes on board. Um, okay, next question. What is the relationship that Rock and Roll have with their dad, Nick Cannon? It's very good, better than with Maria, as a matter of fact. Just because he's very honest with them. Like, when he can't be there, he says he can't be there. And they're very intelligent in interpersonal relationships, like relationships with people. They're much more gifted in their relationships with people than they are with their relationships with computers and electronics. So it's as if like they're meant to be born in another timeline, right? Not this one, where electronics are all over the place. So like they know when he's going to be there and when he's not. And they appreciate that. Like they really have this gift for reading into people, even without the cards. So they know when he's lying and when he's not. Maybe not all the time, but certainly him compared to Maria, it's worlds apart. It's worlds apart. Yeah. And they hate it. Like they wish she would be more honest with herself. Next question. Some people have speculated that her kids have fetal alcohol syndrome as a result of her alleged heavy drinking while she was pregnant with them. Okay. It was reported that she was caught by a nurse drinking beer when she was in hospital with them. Maria claimed that she was drinking the beer because another nurse had told her that it would help. I beg your pardon. That it would help with producing milk for breastfeeding. Is there any truth to any of these things? Yes and no. That information, she heard it from, people. She heard it from people like beer, ginger beer, other things like that, like beer, fermentation, I don't know, fermented products helping with breast milk and feeling good after the after breastfeeding, and also for the breasts not to droop. Yeah. So it was part truth, but it wasn't really like the nurse that had told her that. Not from what I'm seeing anyway. Next question. What is Maria's current life like? Is she happy, or does she feel sad or lonely? Not very happy, but not lonely either. Like she has everything that she wants and need. So it's almost like she's waiting for something to rock her boat in order to feel that next level burst of energy of whether happiness or sadness. Yeah. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. So it's neither or. It's just there. Next question. The quality of Maria's singing voice has gone down significantly in the last decade or so. She can't hit high musical notes because she doesn't want to. Like, she's still married, like that phrase, married to the game. She's still married to the game. She could hit the high notes, like bull's eye. Her voice is like a circle, it's intact. It's not broken, it's intact. There's still fire around her lungs, but she doesn't even want to try. Yeah, she doesn't want to try. She doesn't want to try. Yeah, she doesn't want to try. She's the one who doesn't want to try. Next question. How does Maria feel about the decline of her singing voice? Yeah, like I just like she doesn't feel anything because it doesn't exist. Like she keeps trying to not own up to the fact that her voice is still beautiful. Yeah. It would be like the equivalent of someone, let me say, if there's a 50-year-old woman or man, a 50-year-old woman who looks like she's 16, right? I mean, even me saying it sounds outrageous, especially in this world. So it's like, would she really be willing to go around and say that she's 50 when she looks 16? They might actually take her off to a lab against her will and keep her there to investigate what she's eaten, what blah blah, what has kept her youth that long. And people might even start speculating that she's a witch because how is she looking young, like the age of 16 when she's 50 years old? That's the same with Maria. She doesn't feel like she can own up to her true nature because people will judge her. That, I mean, really, especially in comparison to her peers, it's like, oh, at this point we are supposed to be declining. So let me contribute to that. Yeah. It's very narcissistic and perverse almost, but yeah, there we go. Next question. And really what I've just said, that actually shows how bad it is or can become when someone moves from the focus being on the music or the talent, and it shifts, that the focus shifts to pleasing people, right? Because it's like your talent should speak for you. You have every right to, I mean, like Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, at the age that he's playing right now, there are many footballers who have dropped out already. Not as a negative on them. No, they've played very, very well. In fact, the level of play is what has like torn the ligaments and harmed their bodies, right? To the point where there's a peak at which players are supposed to play because that's normal. We're all human. People then almost expect them to peak at that time. And if they refuse to peak, maybe because they looked after their skin too much, they looked after their bodies, they looked after their health. Now people start looking at them strange and judging them. Like, what are you doing still here? You're supposed to have retired. You're supposed to retire, a long time ago. Things like those, like, him, people have been telling him to retire, but it's like he still plays better than at least half of players on the pitch. Or even if he plays less than what he used to play before, he's certainly not the worst of the worst on the pitch. So why not keep him there, even if you have to give him a lesser salary? Is he gonna refuse? I don't know. But from what I've seen in the cards, he wouldn't refuse it. So this same pattern or similar pattern with Mariah Carey, she doesn't care about the money. She's already got more than enough. Like she really doesn't even care. Like I was saying earlier on, she hands over a lot of her revenue, like of certain deals to Brian, like a backup dancer, right? So what does she care about the money? She just wants to sing, or rather, she's supposed to just want to sing. But that's what happens when a person's focus, when your focus shifts from music or talent to something else like people. All of a sudden, you find yourself wanting to please those people so much that you, who was taking care of your voice because you never wanted to ruin it, you're now pretending as if your voice is faltering and fading. Yeah, it's very, very perverse and narcissistic, even. And, you know, it's like mirroring, right? Like being a mirror, being a mirror to and for other people's insecurities so that those people feel comfortable with the knowledge that you also are declining. Yeah. Last question. Does Mariah worry that her life will end in mysterious circumstances like some of her musical celebrity counterparts have done? She does. She does, because obviously the things that she and her family have done. But she's not afraid about how it would happen. She's a bit of a wild child, like a wild person. She's not afraid about how it would happen, just the fact that it would happen, like it's gonna happen, it's the end of things. Yeah, that's what she's afraid of. Yeah. So feel free to send in your request about George Michael, and I'll look into that as well. And I'm going to open this reading and send you the link.